I got incredibly lucky when my waitlist converted to an in-stock pre-order and I was able to get hold of this. I bit my tongue. Hello and welcome to another episode of Into the Dragon Den with me, King of Dragons. If this is your first time viewing an episode, welcome to my channel, and for those returning, thank you for coming back. As you guys know, Into the Dragon Den is basically a series where I talk about whatever's on my mind. I don't necessarily have to talk about action figures. This is just a way for me to connect with my audience. So, first thing on the agenda is a follow-up to some questions some people have had about that previous episode of Into the Dragon Den on why my mood is a little bit improved. And just a little follow-up to that is, if you guys were guessing it's because of a woman in my life, you guys would be partially... Okay, no, I'm lying to myself. Yeah, you guys would be right. It is because of somebody who came into my life and just making my life a little better just by being there. And I don't know what the future holds with this person. It's just one of those things that I'm playing by ear, and if things go the way as good as I hope they would, things will change here on the Dragon Den, but if not, things will remain the same. But change is never a bad thing. And yes, this person is somebody that I was close to. Okay, so a little bit of a story time. It goes back to a rule that I have in place for myself regarding dating. A rule that I put in place on myself in terms of dating a person is that I do not date coworkers. The reason being, it gets messy. You don't want to date somebody who you see like all the time, and then in the event you guys break up and you guys are still working together, it can get kind of awkward. And I really don't like that idea of feeling awkward at work, because I'm there to make money, I'm there to do my job. I'm not there for like personal problems or bringing drama into this whatever I'm doing. So yeah, I don't date coworkers, and I try not to date close friends. But this person, she was a coworker of mine, no longer. She stopped working for the company several years ago. So I think she's on the market, and yeah, we've just been talking and things are going good. So how far they're gonna go along or where it's gonna stop, I don't know. I can't see into the future. But for those of you who are wondering and questioning if it was because of a woman in my life, yes, you guys would be 100% right on that front. So, I do have a little bit of a story time here on this episode of Into the Dragon Den, and it's basically because I was talking to some of my more recent friends about working at K-Mart and how things were when I was working at K-Mart. And to be quite honest, I honestly didn't have a problem working at K-Mart. I really did love working there. I was only part-time, which was unfortunate, and K-Mart really didn't have too many full-time employees. There were probably like 4 or 5, and those people were the heads of each department. And then you had your managers, of course. But yeah, there was hardly any full-time positions at K-Mart, which was a little bit unfortunate. But they did kind of work you like full-time, and just to get under that, they're not full-time employees, they're part-time. They would work you like 39 hours a week, so it is what it is. And I enjoyed my time working at K-Mart. When I initially started working at K-Mart, I was the electronics associate, but I was also in bath and beauty, because those two departments were on the same wall, so they just decided that you could handle both of them. And about the first month I was working there, I was actually approached by our loss prevention officer, and he kind of looked at my resume and saw that I worked security, and he wanted to know if I was interested in working loss prevention. And I told him absolutely, I would love to be loss prevention, because I think it's a fun experience. I think you get to do more as loss prevention, and I don't know, there's just something enticing about loss prevention that I would not be opposed to doing. Long story short is that as they were getting the paperwork to make me a loss prevention officer, like 5 people at K-Mart got fired all at the same time for something so stupid. And it's kind of funny because where I work now, our loss prevention officer used to work at one of the K-Marts, and he knows the story of how these 5 people got fired because they tried to steal a PlayStation 3. And it was such a convoluted thing that had like 5 people involved. It had one of the electronics guys, it had 2 people at the front end, it even had one of the loss prevention officers involved in that whole thing. And it was like, okay, that's a big thing to take in. And basically what it was is that you needed keys to unlock the electronics, and normally loss prevention would walk the electronics to wherever it needed to go. And the way they did it is that they had the electronics guy, we're just going to call him Ben. They had Ben open up the gaming supplies, and our loss prevention officer, we'll call him Riley. Riley took the merchandise over to the layaway department, and from there one of the service desk associates, we'll call her Beth. Beth went to the layaway department and she put the PS3 into a suitcase, and then after Beth put the suitcase in layaway, they had the second service desk associate, we'll call him Miles. And Miles went to go get the suitcase to buy said suitcase with the PlayStation in the suitcase, and we had Beth bring him out without checking the suitcase. And it was just so convoluted. Like, between the 4 of you guys, you didn't have $300. I really doubt that between 4 adults, they did not have $300 between the 4 of them. That blew my mind. And even when I tell the story now, it just blows my mind that doesn't seem possible, that 4 adults don't have $300 between them. I can go to my wallet right now and I can pull out $200. That's no problem for me. I make like $300 purchases a week on action figures. I have money. How do 3 adults not have $300 on them? It was so wild. And after they got fired, they needed to like get a new loss prevention guy, somebody with experience in loss prevention, not security. So I never got to be loss prevention at Kmart, although I was what you would call an honorary loss prevention associate, especially when I started managing the appliance department. They had me as an honorary loss prevention, only because as one of the manager, or as a supervisor at appliances, I got to wear something different from what everybody else in the store wore. I got to wear a black shirt, so I could go around the store, I could take my name tag off, and I could follow people for loss prevention. They would tell me, hey, keep an eye on this person, but don't make it too obvious. So I walk around the store like a civilian and monitor and report back to the loss prevention. And then when they were ready to do the apprehension, they would have me go with them to do it. That was a lot of fun. I liked doing loss prevention. I don't think I'd be as good doing it now because of my injuries, unfortunately. Loss prevention does require some running and being a little bit physical. Even though you don't tackle anybody, you still need to be able to take merchandise from people. And I don't think in my current state I'm healthy enough to do it. My back would probably blow out trying to run. I can't run. That's how bad my back is. If I try running, I'll get like maybe 50 feet and then I'll just collapse. And I know that because one of my dogs got out one time, 2 times actually. It happened twice. She got out twice, started running around, and I don't like it when my dogs run loose because we have lost 2 of them in the past because of that. So if we can stop that, I will. And I'll put my own health before that. And I try running after her. And there's a trailer park right across the street, and I remember running after her. My dad was also on her tail, and I was also running after her. My back gave out, and I just collapsed. I couldn't get up, and I was just lying on the floor. and my dad came to get me, and I'm like, no, go get Daisy, go get Daisy. I'm not going to be moving anywhere. I'm going to be on the floor. So he eventually catches her, and I'm just like trying to like pick myself up by grabbing anything I can. Having a serious back problem, it does affect you, and there's a lot of things I wish I could do. In fact, that's why at work they have me at service desk, because if I try lifting something too heavy or I do something wrong, there's a good chance I can hurt myself. And the company I work for, I gotta give them props. They have been so supportive of me and my injury, and they have done a good job taking care of me, and they continue to take care of me. And my accident was 5 years ago. Gonna be 5 years at this point. That just shows the amount of care they show for the employees, which I do like that. I know I did tell a story last week about how sometimes management doesn't really side with employees, but my boss at the time, before he moved on to other things, he really sympathized with injuries because he had 2 bad knees. So if you were hurt or hurting, he would actually empathize with that. If you needed like a mental day, he would give you mental days. Because I remember even going into his office one time, and this was as I was going through therapy and everything was wrapping up, and I just couldn't do what I used to anymore. And it's that mounting frustration that I used to be able to lift 90-pound concrete bags, 90-pound sandbags all by myself. I used to be able to lift weights no problem, and that got taken away from me. And the frustration of knowing that I could have done this by myself, it does take a toll on you mentally. And I remember going into his office saying, look, I just need to take some time off because mentally I'm not in the right mindset to be doing this, and it's just taking a toll on me mentally. Like, I can't be here knowing that I'm practically useless. And he was sympathetic toward me, saying that I'm not useless, that we will find a place for you. And he basically told me, take a couple of days off, you have the hours to do it, relax, find yourself, and when you come back we'll have something ready for you to go. And he actually did have something ready for me to go, so I really do thank him for having that. And it's really hard to find a job like that, because I know most places, the moment you get hurt and you're unable to fulfill your task, they're like, well, there's a door, see ya. Especially because I got hurt off the clock. If I had got hurt on the clock, it would be a completely different story. But I was off the clock when I got hurt, so yeah, when my accident happened, I was just a regular civilian coming back from lunch, got blindsided. That's the gist of it. And I will go into a story time on how it went down and what I remember from that, because it is a story that I do want to let you guys in on why I'm basically hurt. I'm working hurt, I work hurt all the time. In fact, I tell everybody when they ask about it, how's your back? It's cracking. My back is always cracking at this point, and it's a recurring joke at work when they ask me, what's cracking, Louie? I go, my back, but that's normal. I'm gonna take a quick water break, you guys, so I might pause the video, I might just keep it running. It's gonna be a quick water break because my throat is getting dry. Water does the body good. But yeah, my back bothers me all the time, and I think on average I go the full day feeling back pain. The only time I really don't feel it is when I'm lying down. But sitting down, standing up, walking can even injure me more. In October, I blew out my back just walking. I blew my back out walking, and that is so frustrating that I can hurt myself doing the most mundane thing, and there's not a goddamn thing I can do to stop it, because if it happens, it happens. And that frustration, that worry does, it eats away at you. I wish I could get surgery on my back, but everybody I've ever talked to, they tell me, don't get surgery until you can't move anymore, because as long as you're mobile, you're good. You don't need surgery. Surgery is only for when the pain becomes too much and it completely inhibits you. I don't know how true that is. I'm not a medical expert. I'm just a guy with back, knee, and shoulder pains from a car accident that wasn't my fault. And I wish I had a buffer between me and the other car. I got hit by a car. That's the gist of it. I got hit by a car. But like I said, that'll be a story for another day. I know a lot of people will be interested in, oh, King of Dragons, he got hit by a car. How did that happen? What went on with that? I will tell you that all in another episode of Into the Dragon Den. But for now, I think that's where we're going to wrap up this video, because I think I've taken enough of your time here. If you came to the end of the episode, thank you so much. And for the word of the day, just put nutmeg. If you stay till the end of the episode, just type in nutmeg. I'll know what you mean. I'll know you saw the episode till the end. So, once again, thank you for watching another Into the Dragon Den with me, King of Dragons. I hope you guys come back for another episode. By the time this episode goes on, I'm probably going to be on vacation from my regular job. Not vacation from YouTube. I'm still going to be doing my YouTube videos, so I'm going to be cranking out more content faster for you guys. It's going to be a fun 2 weeks for me. So until next time, my loyal Dragonites coming from the Dragon Den, I'm King of Dragons 5000, reminding you to redesign, rebuild, and reclaim. I'll see you next time.